Hey there, guys, and welcome to episode 10 of the Smashing Crossbar Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Ferreira, and with me again, I have two special guests. First one being the regular, as always, Ben. Mate, how are we?
I'm good, mate. I'm very good. How is yourself?
Not too bad, mate, not too bad. Just winding down on hump day, so I hear you're babysitting tonight, mate.
I sure am, mate.
Mate, which brings me to our second guest for the night, Wireless Vlogs. Terence, how are you, mate?
I'm good, thank you, Josh. It's good to be on the Smashing Crossbars podcast.
No worries, mate. Obviously, it's good to finally have you on the show. Obviously, losing your Smashing Crossbar podcast virginity tonight. Hope you feel privileged.
I do, mate, but I feel like it's being forced from me, so I'm thinking about yelling out something, but we'll stick on with it.
Pretty much average week for you then, mate, losing your virginity.
Absolutely, mate, absolutely.
So
it'll happen one day.
It'll happen one day, exactly right. Don't give up that sucker too early. So pretty much, guys, on today's episode, we're just going to do a bit of a rundown, obviously, in the last couple of days of the Jets, and obviously just talk a little bit of football. Obviously, it shouldn't be too big of an episode this week, not much to discuss. So obviously, Ben and Terence, we played against Sydney FC behind closed doors tonight. Ben, obviously, did you get a chance to see what was going on there via Twitter? Obviously, because
I did, mate. I was listening, listening/watching on Twitter. From what I was reading, it was quite the game.
Yeah, well, obviously, the guys ran out a 2-1 loss. Late penalty at the end there, obviously, gave Sydney the victory there. But obviously, after the game, Ernie Merrick virtually stated that it was a good hit out for the boys, and everyone pretty much performed as they should have. Obviously, we'll do a quick recap. Obviously, run through the starting lineup. So obviously from the back, we had Glenn Moss in the back, Jason Hoffman, Nigel Bugard, Stephen Ugarkovic, Ronald Vargas, Daniel Georgeski, Johnny Katrumbis, Matthew Riddington, Mitch Austin, Angus Thurgate, and Nicholas Topper-Stanley. Obviously, Cowburn, Costa Petrados, Langlios, Ciliados, and Italiano on the bench. Your thoughts, mate, from what you could see from Twitter?
I'm assuming that Dimmy's on international duty.
Dimmy's injured.
Injured.
Yeah, I don't believe he ended up going to Turkey for the break. I believe he's still back in Newcastle, obviously along the lines of Ben Kenarowski and a few other of the guys, obviously a couple of the new signings as well.
Yeah, well, it looks like from that Daniel Georgeski's overcome whatever injury he may or may not have succumbed to in the FFA Cup against City the other week.
Yeah, look, obviously, we've got Ernie Merrick that came out obviously after the game, which you can, if you jump onto the Newcastle Jets page on Facebook, there's an interview there with himself. He virtually stated that Daniel Jajeski played an absolute blinder. Pretty much, coach's words, one of the best games he's seen him play in the Newcastle shirt. So obviously good signs there for obviously Daniel, obviously, as you said, overcoming the injuries that he suffered. Apparently Hoffy had a blinder up front once again. But we all know he does that week in, week out, Ben.
Oh yeah, love a bit of Hoffy up front.
Love a bit of Hoffy up front, loves it. So obviously we've got Terence here as well, who, look, I don't have many friends that aren't Jet supporters. Terence is definitely one of those, being a Victory fan. Mate, Mitch Austin moved over to the Jets. Obviously wasn't getting game time, wasn't getting a chance at Melbourne. Feel he got a little bit hard done by there, or obviously good to see him go?
If I'm 100% honest, I believe he's on a trial at the Jets at the moment. Is that correct?
No. Mitch Austin is 100% signed. Signed, sealed, delivered. He, unfortunately, the Brazilian took priority to his signing. He's virtually been left in the dark a little bit there on the signing itself. So yeah, no, definitely signed for the club this season, a 1-year deal.
Okay, yeah, I heard a few things. I wasn't 100% sure on what the deal was there, but I was a bit disappointed to see him go. To be honest, he was what I'd call an impact player. He never really got a fair crack. When he did, he provided. He was one of those players that he quickly became a cult figure around the fans. There was a lot of followership behind him, and he became one of those, that each club has those 1 or 2 players that are just a cult figure at the club, and he quickly became one of ours, Mitch Austin. And I know I'm not the only person that's quite disappointed to see him go. I do hope he has a good season. He's a better footballer than what I think we've seen. He can do a lot better than... Well, he's better than the opportunities we were giving him would suggest. I'd put it that way.
Yeah, well, yeah. Again, I think Laurie said it best, where time will tell to see exactly how he's overcome the major injury and major setback from last season. Obviously, he was pretty much out for the entire season, so to speak.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing will be if his fitness has changed. Obviously, Laurie said that the other week when I was speaking to him that it looks like hasn't missed a step from obviously taking any backward steps in regards to his speed. And if he can stay fit and obviously keep that speed up, obviously he's going to be a massive signing for us to replace Naboot, who will just run all day, I feel. Your thoughts on that, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, we were discussing this a couple of weeks ago, and I still stand by my initial remark, and that's my initial thought, which was to find a player who can do what Andrew Naboot did, that is Australian, so falls under the salary cap and doesn't take an international spot. There really isn't a lot out there in that position. And I would say that, look, I've never been a massive fan of Mitch Austin, but he is the best in that position that we could get.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, not a bad player, not by any means, but more than serviceable.
Yeah, look, I think, if anyone's going to get the best out of him, I think Merrick is definitely, not just because he's a Jets coach at the moment. Merrick in general, as I said, obviously Terence would know, obviously being a Melbourne fan, obviously he's a Melbourne coach as well down there, and he it's what he does. He gets the best out of players, and even though when he was over in New Zealand, he didn't have his best coaching stint, but he still got the best out of players. With obviously the time he had, and obviously with what he had to work with over there. So if Austin stays fit and he keeps firing and obviously doing what obviously Merrick signed him for, I've got no dramas. He'll fill in the Boots' shoes with ease, to be fair. So yeah, obviously I'll just go through obviously a little bit of the stats from the game. As I said, it was down at Leichhardt Oval behind closed doors, so just a nice little friendly hit out. Obviously Sydney pretty well went in at, I won't say full strength because I don't have their lineup in front of me, but obviously very, very strong outfit. They played De Jong, they played Le Fondre up front as well. So look, and obviously one of the guys in the back line, I can't remember the bloke's name off the top of my head, but Le Fondre opened the scoring early in about the 12th minute. So obviously he took the Jets by surprise. So obviously he's definitely come in and done damage straight away. And then obviously we equalised in the 31st minute for a goal from Angus Thurgate. I'll stop just there. Obviously, mate, Ben, you watched him you would have seen him down in Melbourne. I haven't actually got to a game as of yet, but your take on Thurgate?
Very much one for us to hold on to.
Yep.
Not going to be the instant hit success like Joey Champness was,
Mm-hmm.
But if he puts his head down and keeps doing what he's doing, he will become a very strong player for the Jets in the future.
Yep. Yeah, well, obviously, look, Ernie again had nothing but praise for him, obviously, in the game. Obviously, scored the equaliser from a great cross from Georgievski. And then, unfortunately, we conceded a late penalty. Obviously, not too sure exactly how, the penalty itself, if it was, worth a penalty or whatnot. But obviously, the guys, Sydney took the lead late in the second half to make it 2-1, and that's pretty much how it finished up. As I said, Merrick had nothing but praise for pretty much the side that was put out. Again, we had about 6 players. We've got about 6 players injured, not that obviously aren't in the squad as of yet. So plenty to come into the squad for the next trial game, which I do believe will be at Maitland Park against Western Sydney Wanderers. So,
yeah, I did say that.
Yeah, so obviously, that'll be a very good hit out there against Western Sydney Wanderers. Obviously, they've done all right in the FFA Cup. They've got a very good coach. Obviously, ex-Liverpool legend, and obviously played in the Netherlands and so forth as well in Babel. So, no easy push over there. So, look, obviously there's not much going on other than that in the Jets, other than the big news. Mate, I'm sure you've seen some of the highlight reels of him. I'm sure even Terence may have even took a sneak peek at obviously some of the highlight reels. It's been over the internet all over, as most signings in the A League are. What do you think we're going to get out of the new arrival of Jaya Eduardo, Ben?
He looks very tidy, very quick on his feet, and has the ability to adapt in very quick without thinking.
Mm-hmm.
He's very quick thinking.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's going to be a massive. If him and Vargas can lock up and obviously, get that gel, I think most sides are going to find it very difficult to penetrate that midfield, along with your mate Stevie UG, who virtually again does an unbelievable job at doing nothing.
Wow, I wouldn't go so far as to say that.
Well, no, I would. Because obviously, you probably look at, obviously, Terence would almost agree. I'm sure he's watched plenty of games. I'm sure he watched the grand final. Stevie UG, he travels around the park as if he doesn't. It's not like he's doing a great deal. He's not on the ball all that often and so forth. But his job obviously is taking players out of the way. Obviously, keep drawing defenders away from obviously the likes of last year Petrados and Naboot and so forth. Obviously, Terence, your thoughts on that? Obviously, you've seen him play enough. Stevie UG, what are your thoughts?
Off the top of my head, I've actually gone a little bit blank at the minute. I can't remember seeing.
Has he stood
I
out
can't
for you?
remember seeing much. I wouldn't say stood out. No.
Right.
Well, then he's doing his job.
Correct, and that's what I mean by it. I think as an opposition fan in Melbourne, whoever it may be in the A League, I think if the fans are thinking that he didn't do anything, I think that's fantastic. I think he's done his job because he's not there to friggin' score goals and he's not there to friggin' just see that pass from Stevie Uju straight through the middle. His job is to take out the defenders and make them second guess themselves, and I think he does that well. And obviously, if he keeps that up this season, it's going to be a very, very strong middle and back line, I think. And obviously, we'll find it very interesting to see who gets in to that squad. And who can't make it into that squad. Obviously, with the likes of your Ben Kenarowskis, your Riddington, who played in the middle today. He played across the middle of the park as well. So, obviously, in replace of Kenarowski. And, you've got all these sort of players, Verwitzer and stuff like that, who will struggle to get into the side if obviously these guys do their job. Obviously, we're also in the market for. Oh, actually, sorry, I was also going to state on Eduardo. Not many people have probably picked it up as of yet. I was only told yesterday by Joel Griffiths, in fact. Terence may or may not be out of the three of us, may have already seen Eduardo play.
Ah.
So he's
yes.
He's played against Ernie Merrick before, and he's played against the Victory in obviously in Melbourne, and obviously over when he was playing for Jeju in
Jeju United.
Jeju United, yes. So obviously a few years ago now, but obviously in the Asian Champions League. So yeah, so Merrick obviously has seen him play, witnessed him play and so forth, and look, it'll be interesting. Time will tell. We've had, I'm sure Terence can testify to this, being a Victory fan, we've had plenty of duds come into the club, and
we've had our fair share.
There's been
mind you, so a Victory, to be fair.
Yeah, correct, and that's why I figured. Terence has obviously seen his fair share as well, and
Matthias Sanchez springs to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good signing.
Top done.
Well, that's it. He played better than bloody Mario Jardel.
Yep. Last time we signed a Brazilian, it did not work out.
And that's exactly why I'm just not everyone's like, they've watched his highlight package, they've seen him score goals and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, that's fantastic. So did Mario Jardel. Mario Jardel won the friggin' goal, won the friggin' Ballon d'Or.
Sorry. I need to rephrase myself. He wasn't the last Brazilian we signed. Leonardo was the last Brazilian we signed.
Leonardo was the last Brazilian we signed, and I think we also signed what's his name? It wasn't Danilo. He was a bald bloke, number 10. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Huh?
It wasn't it? It was Leonardo, wasn't it?
I don't think that was.
He was the number 10, wasn't he? The central attacking midfielder?
Yeah, I think he was, but I don't think that's the bloke I'm thinking of. But yeah, regardless, we've had plenty of duds, and even Coco springs to mind.
Oh yes,
you know what I mean. Like obviously, Eduardo hasn't opened his mouth yet. Coco opened his mouth first day on the job and virtually called out Tim Cahill. So,
and then had his jaw broken for the pleasure.
Yeah, his praying Eduardo just keeps his mouth shut and doesn't sort of try and take on obviously, bloody, Melbourne City, Fornaroli, or obviously your bigger name players like that, and go, I'll score as many goals as them. So yeah, obviously, again, obviously not much to talk about in Jets camp other than the signings. We're obviously looking at the young Avondale striker as well, Kyle Shepherd,
Kane Shepherd.
Kane Shepherd, my bad. You've actually seen him play, mate. So, what's your thoughts on him?
I have, mate. He was a tidy player at Avondale, mate. He's I did end up going to that FFA Cup game between Avondale and Marconi, and what can I say, mate? It took him a minute and a half to put his first goal away.
Yeah, look, again, some would say obviously completely different league, but again, he came on obviously as a trialist against the under-20 Joeys, and he scored there, and I think in the first 15 minutes of that game as well. So, look, from what I hear, he's very, very close to signing, and obviously with him signing, that will only free up one spot left, being a goalkeeper, and then you've got the likes of Italiano and the young bloke from Bentley Green, I think it is, who will be fighting out for that spot. But you would imagine, obviously, Italiano would pick that up just on experience.
Yeah, well, I think that that would very much show it, considering the lineup that Ernie took today to Leichhardt Oval.
Yeah, correct. So, well, obviously,
but in saying that, A League clubs always cop flack from various other media outlets and other sources as well, things like Fox Sports, and they give me yell that A League clubs don't want to look at NPL clubs and players.
Yep.
We very much do like to look at our NPL, not just Northern New South Wales, but NPL around the country, and try and pick gems out of there. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. That's the gamble you take. But at the end of the day, you're giving that young kid, an opportunity.
Yep.
And not many A-League clubs are willing to take that gamble.
Very, very true. Very true. Well, look, obviously, we've obviously seen some interesting things, obviously, with Victory. We've got, obviously, a Victory fan here right now. But obviously, let's have a quick take, mate, on, obviously, some of your signings, obviously, you've made this season. Obviously, the big noted one in Honda. What's your thoughts there, mate?
Honda was a bit of an unknown one to me. Obviously, it was a few weeks ago now, and I'll be honest, I haven't seen much of Honda play. A lot of the talk of the town is that it was a decent pickup. There's expecting almost an immediate impact from a senior player. You sort of want that, but I've got the impression from talking to a few people that he's very hit or miss sort of thing. I'll put it to it this way. I was talking to a fellow Victory supporter about it, and the impression that I got was it's one of those gambles that you were saying that Newcastle Jets often takes with, well, not often takes, but takes with kids coming through in the NPL. It feels like Honda for us was that same deal where we made a signing hoping to get one thing, but well aware that we might be getting another. And I know that sounds a little bit strange for such a senior player, but yeah, the impression that I got was that it's not going to be something that is going to immediately impact our game style, to put it that way.
Yeah, well, obviously, you look at obviously some of the signings, and compared, like me and Ben can sit here and just sort of shake our heads, so to speak, at obviously some of the signings that they have made, and just sit there and go,
the salary cap.
Hashtag smash the cap.
Exactly right.
I was waiting for that to be brought up.
Exactly right. Look,
City are in the same boat.
Yeah, but look, we sit here.
Bunch of wankers.
We sit here and obviously go, Storm Roo.
Tidy, even though he's a Jippo.
Best thing for him was to get out of there. I think is obviously, he obviously plays on the right in the back line. They've brought a whole new back line.
They had to. They sold all the others.
Correct. Well, yeah, exactly right. But obviously, with the back line they've brought in
it's very young.
Well, very, very well, and it is very young. Obviously, other than George Niedermira, who obviously just come over from Freiburg, which is a tidy pickup on a free transfer. But obviously, you've got the likes of Nick Ansell as well, who's come over from Tondela from Liga NOS in the Portuguese league, who's come back. And I think the biggest surprise one for the Melbourne Victory, and I think he's going to be the one to watch, is and just slide under that radar, is going to be Corey Brown from Brisbane Roar.
Yes.
If he stays fit.
Tidy player.
100% tidy player. 24 years of age. And if he stays fit, mate, he's going to be... He will be a better, Leroy George, or, along the lines of players like that. He can do magic things, and the only downside he can't control is obviously his fitness. So as long as he stays fit, he should be good. But obviously, couple of the other ones we've got in there. Obviously, they signed Raul Bina from Granada, 29-year-old, and obviously the other big one, Ola. Sorry if I butchered his name for you, Terence.
Toivonen.
Ola Toivonen.
Toivonen.
Central forward, come straight from Toulouse. Swedish, 32, still playing international. Played in the World Cup.
Scored against Germany in the World Cup.
Scored against Germany.
He did.
Just obviously looking at the Melbourne's transfer lists here that I'm looking in front of, you see all these, free transfers, free transfers, and then obviously you come to the lot, even Honda apparently has come over on a free transfer, and then you've got the Swedish bloke from Toulouse, where it's just got a question mark right next to it. Now, I'd love to know what that question mark is. We're going to pay you in money. We're going to pay you accommodation.
We don't wish to disclose.
No. That's like the Premier League's famous phrase, has signed on an undisclosed figure.
Yeah. Which I just want to grab your opinions. I haven't seen. He was a bit of an unknown to me, Toivonen. Now, he's failed to score in 23 of his league games last year. What do you make of him? Have you seen him play before? What do you make of his play?
Look, he's he's a Dutch Cup winner. He's won the he's won the Super Cup as well. He's played at obviously some very tidy clubs along the way as well. So he's left. What did he play? He played at Sunderland, obviously in England. He played at Stade Rennais in France. PSV. Not 100% sure who else I've got there. I don't know, Ben, if you know any others, but obviously he's played most of his time. Obviously, would have played a few teams in Sweden as well, I'd imagine. Look, he's no pushover. Obviously, if he's played in the Premier League and he's played in the French League, it's I'd say the retirement home of all leagues in the French League. But
he's a very different sort of striker / attacking midfielder, depending on where you're going to put Honda. He's a very opposite player to fucking the nose.
Yeah.
Whereas the nose likes to put the nose in your face. Pardon the expression. Toivonen is very much. He's the sort of player I'd look at and go, "You're more a false nine than an out and out."
Correct.
Yeah.
He's from and when they signed him, I went and had a look at some of the games he played in the World Cup again, and he's very good at holding up. He's very good at holding up the ball high up the park and retaining possession in those areas, and then distributing wide.
Okay, that's interesting, because hearing Muscat talk about how he's going to be used this year, it sounded like he was going to be used as an out-and-out striker. There was a lot of talk about his ability up front and his shot taking and things like that. It was all focused around him as a striker rather than maybe being that outlet player up front.
Yeah, I did listen to that press conference that Muskie had. But he just strikes me as more as a sort of brick wall hold up play unit. That seems to be how I would perceive him where his strengths, especially at his age now, would lie.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, he's got a tidy shot on him.
Yep.
Well,
and if he sees that opportunity from outside the box, he'll knock one.
Yeah, look, he's nothing special. I suppose you'd say he's nothing special. You know what I mean? Like, he's the most he's gone to a club for was obviously when he went to PSV Eindhoven for $4 million. So you look at that, and obviously $4 million, it's not a great deal of money.
That's euro, mate.
Sorry, you're right. You're right. So it's about what?
Euros.
About 7 mil, give or take. And obviously, his market value now that he's just signed for Melbourne is 1.5 million euros. Again, that's market value, not obviously what he's gone there for. Because obviously, he was market value when he was at Toulouse was 2.5, but he went to Stade Rennais for 1.5. So, yeah, look, he's I don't know. I don't think he's going to be the be all and end all. I think the big one, obviously, you got to look at for my liking is going to be probably Raul Bena, the defensive midfielder. I think he's probably the best potential player that obviously these guys have signed obviously that have come from overseas. So, but again, time will tell. You got Kevin Muscat at the helm, mate. The George.
Yeah, that's what worries me.
Nedamira, the fullback from Freiburg, mate. Him and Muscat could be doing drills after hours. I think. Who knows what could happen. Could be Muscat's new whipping boy. So time will tell there, mate. Obviously, there's just one topic I do want to get into before obviously we go into the Premier League tips. As I said, there's not a great deal to talk about. I don't want to run this for any longer than I have to. So, obviously, I think both of you have seen the Australian lineup. Your thoughts, both of you, on Graham Arnold leaving the young Melbourne, now Celtic, Azani out of the squad. Good thing?
Disappointed.
Disappointed? In what way?
I wanted to see him in there.
Yeah. Ben?
I'm a bit 50-50 on this, mate.
Well, while you're 50-50, I think it's probably again, I'm not a fan of Graham Arnold. I think his appointment as Australian coach was a mistake. But it's done. let it be. We'll see what happens. But for leaving him out, I think it was the best decision. It was a good decision. When you look at, obviously, the hype that he's had, he's gone from Melbourne City to Manchester City, where, obviously, in his head, he's like, this is fantastic. I've just gone from friggin' the shit heap to friggin' the benchmark of friggin' football in the world. And then even going to Celtic, still, obviously, sweet. I'm going to go to the champions of Scotland. Tom Rogic is there. He's done really well there. So I'm going to have someone I can rely on and who I can, who can help me progress to hopefully get into that first squad. But I'm interested to see how he fits into Brendan Rodgers' plans. He wasn't selected in the Europa squad, and that's a 30-man squad. And he wasn't selected in that at all, but they've won him out there on loan. So for Graham Arnold to leave him out of the squad because he's not getting game time is a good thing, I think. I think the likes of Milligan will find it hard to find game time because I doubt he will get much game time out there at Hibernian. And, he's been there for 4 or 5 weeks. Something like that. He's played 2 games for the reserves.
Oh, wow.
So, look, for him to get game time, obviously a bloke of his calibre, he's not young, he's old. And I guarantee you, if he's not getting game time, Graham Arnold's not going to play him. And because of his age, he's going to go, well, maybe I need to look to the next Milligan. In the likes of, obviously, probably maybe Risdon or obviously Bailey Wright, maybe.
And that's the interesting point. You're talking about these players that have been drafted, or well, Azani specifically, into the squad, and the reasons about, why he left him at home. I look at that list and I go, the amount of some of the other younger players who got thrown to the wayside that are now finally clawing themselves back. players like Anwar Bill,
Yep.
Dennis Grenier, Mitch Duke, Alex Gersbach,
Yeah, another good one. Yep.
Amini.
Yep.
Good to see Langerak claw himself back. Again, Bailey Wright, again, was left out of the Socceroos squad.
Absolutely, and that's it. You've got obviously other blokes in there who haven't even no one's heard of. You know what I mean? Like you've got obviously Kenneth Dougal and obviously
John Idale.
Yeah, Idale. Sorry, and young blokes like that who no one.
Sunshine.
But no one would even know of. Even along the likes of your Mobiles and Jukes and stuff like that. Yeah, Jukes played a few games, but obviously. Could you tell me where he plays? Most people couldn't.
That's right.
So, look, I don't know.
But there are interesting things that I can see from what or how this is laid out. Like, he's picked a hell of a lot of defenders.
Absolutely.
So, that means, lads, no more three at the back.
Graham Arnold.
I must give Arnold some credit. He's not that stupid.
No, Graham Arnold will play.
But he is that sort of manager that will drop somebody like Matt Ryan if he's performing poorly in the Premier League and bring in somebody like Brad Jones.
Correct.
He will play them based on form and how those specific people work together as a team. He likes that cohesion. And that's what got him everything at Sydney.
Yeah.
He had as much as I detest them, he had City running like a well-oiled machine for 2 years. And he was very good at pulling in players season after season that would fit into his system.
Yep.
And would make... They may not have necessarily been better or worse players, but they work in his system and they connected with his system very well.
Well, righto. We'll go out on a limb right here, right now. Well, obviously, we're months off the Asian Champions League and so forth. Right now, with obviously you would imagine not many changes probably to that squad that he selected for the first training camp in Turkey. Obviously, the likes of possibly Economides and stuff like that, which who I would like to see get back into the squad. And obviously, a couple of obviously other younger players in there. I'll get both your predictions right now. Will Graham Arnold win the Asian Champions League? With the squad he's pretty much got, which we both know won't change that much from the World Cup squad.
My heart says yes, my head says no.
Any reason why you don't reckon? Ability, fitness, age. What's your thoughts on why you don't think they're going to get there?
It won't be any one factor. It'll be a combination of factors. You look at the games we played in the World Cup, and we pushed, some big footballing nations. We showed we can play good football, and we showed, that around the world Australian football seen as a joke, and we showed that we can play football. But we also have, through the history of Australian football, the knack of, for lack of a better term, shitting the bed. I just don't see us being able to put together a tournament properly yet. And the World Cup showed that we had some good games, and then we had some absolute shockers.
Fair enough. Ben?
Oh, look. To be honest, I don't think we will. We won't win it.
Okay. Reasonings?
The Australian squad is very much, at the moment, going through change.
Yep.
By the time the Asian Cup rolls around,
Mm-hmm.
it's, you dare say that some of those older names aren't going to be in the prime like they were.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie Cruz.
Robbie Cruz has never even gone anywhere near his prime. Shut up.
Mate, Graham Arnold's a friggin' dud as a friggin' Australian coach, but if he finally gives up the ghost and friggin' tells Cruz to pack your shit and don't come back,
Oh, we might have a chance.
mate,
I have a question.
Yep.
Lecky injured?
No, but
Why not? Why not called up?
I couldn't tell you, to be fair. But
I'm sorry, mate. Shining light in the last World Cup.
Well, Lecky, yeah, absolutely. No, so it was
I'd pick a half limping Lecky over Cruz any bloody day, mate.
Oh, any day.
Correct. Yeah, no, I couldn't tell you, but no, last time I seen him obviously play for club level, yeah, no, he wasn't injured. But yeah, look, yeah, I'm sort of in the same sort of position. I don't think they have the quality or will have the quality in January to do it. You know, some people would say January's only around the corner.
That's a long time.
January is a long time away when you're playing right, and that's smack bang in the middle of competition season.
Yeah.
You've watched so many, you know, obviously again, we can all testify to it, you know, obviously probably other than Ben being a Birmingham fan. And not,
You know, he said Huddersfield.
I almost said Huddersfield. I tried to make him feel special.
No, he's a Villa fan.
He's a Villa closet. But
Shut up.
who obviously doesn't, you know, they don't let go a lot of international players, but obviously, you know, Terence and myself, you know, obviously, you know, me being a Liverpool fan, Terence being an Arsenal fan, obviously watching virtually the whole mateship of a squad leave for like tournaments and stuff like that, it hurts, and it really puts a toll. And obviously, you know, they've even got to get to January fit. You know, it's just, I don't think they're going to be able to do it. I don't think they're going to have the likes of Milligan there. Cahill, again, still at 39 years of age, I think is a big loss.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I still think at 40 he would be still capable to come off the bench and just dominate around the park and just...
As for Yedinak by then.
Hey, sorry?
As for Yedinak by then as well.
Look, yeah, Yedinak's not getting any younger. What's he's about 35?
He's lost a step and then some, mate.
That's just
You
because
can't run like you used to.
that's just because he's a Villa. You just don't like him anymore.
I still rate him very much as a player.
No. I still rate him player just when he's playing for the Vile. When he puts on that green and gold, mate, it's a different story. Once he takes it off again, he's back in claret and blue.
So yeah, look, you know, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. We won't win it. Right before last thing before we get into the Premier League tips. Just a simple yes or no answer.
Shivers.
Simple yes or no answer. Will Graham Arnold be coach of the Socceroos at the next World Cup? Terence?
No.
Yeah, no. Yeah, 3 no's. Definitely don't see that. Definitely.
No.
Which is going to be interesting because obviously Postecoglou came in at the exact same time as Graham Arnold is.
Yeah.
He came in straight after the World Cup and virtually took them to obviously Asia. They won Asia by the skin of their teeth, which just that just makes me even more scared because the countries over there now are just getting better and better and
stronger and stronger.
You know, we're hosting Lebanon in November. That to me just scares the shit out of me. Nothing against obviously Lebanon and obviously, you know, the Lebanese. Just the fact that Lebanon 5 years ago were a nothing side. Now they're winning things. They are dominating Asia, and if they're winning tournaments and they're winning games and they're winning big games, what's that say for the likes of Japan, South Korea, and all those sort of teams as well? Saudi Arabia and all that sort of stuff. It's
Even Iraq.
Yeah, Iraq, absolutely. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Scary thoughts.
We struggled against them.
We did.
100%. Scary thoughts, scary times ahead. But we'll move obviously into the very end of the episode, mate, and we will give our tips. We will take T's tips. Obviously, whilst we've got him here for the week's rounds, but obviously at the moment, Ben, you'll be disappointed to know that Chris is leading the competition at the moment.
Am I still sitting in third?
Still sitting in third, mate. I'm sitting at the back of the pack. I don't want to make it look too obvious like I've rigged the thing, so I just thought I'd sit at the back of the pack. No, it's just because I can't tip for shit. Let's be honest.
Yeah, neither can I.
But yeah, obviously Town.
Does that?
Yep.
I was going to say, does that mean as an Arsenal fan I'm coming on, I'm going to be permanently fourth?
Yeah, 100%.
Brilliant.
Thank you for knowing your place. Without me having to
he knows his place.
In saying that though, Chris could possibly be sent to fourth spot because I think this is the third week in a row he's tipped Everton, and it's really starting to shit me. So Chris from SportsCastle, mate, you're on notice. You tip Everton next week. There's going to be shit to play. So we'll get obviously the first game, mate. Tottenham versus Liverpool, cracking game. Obviously, I'm a Reds fan, of course, but obviously it's going to be our biggest test. We're undefeated. Yes, we certainly haven't played anywhere near where we need to be playing to win the title. So to me, if we get beat here, I won't be kicking, screaming and whinging that we got beat. I'll be like, well, there you go, lads. That's a learning curve, and it's only going to get worse with the likes of City and Chelsea, and we'll go Arsenal even, obviously, over United.
No, don't worry about us, mate. We're not a threat.
Oh, no, friggin' Arsenal, mate. They're typical slow starters, mate. They're always slow starters, so we'll see what happens there. But
I know.
Liverpool, Tottenham. We've got Lockie gone Liverpool. Chris has gone Spurs. Ben?
I'm going to go the Reds, mate.
Good boy. Well, I've gone the Reds. Terence, what are you going to go on this one, mate?
Well, don't make me say it, but I'm not going Liverpool.
Right, thanks for being here on the episode, mate. It's kindly... Hang
on, you're an Arsenal supporter and you're going Spurs? Wow.
Yeah, I know.
I'll tip with my brain, mate. I'll tip with my brain.
I know, that's why I'm shit at it, because I tip with my heart.
Yeah, exactly right.
There's pride on the line here.
I tip with passion. Smarts.
Just to clarify there, Lockie, myself, and Ben have gone Liverpool. Chris has gone Spurs, and the Arsenal fan, whose major rival is Tottenham, has just gone Tottenham. Anyway, moving forward, Man City versus Fulham. Lockie and Chris have both gone City. I've gone City. Ben?
I mean, I really wanted to back Fulham this season, but
don't go with your heart this time.
This is going to be a whitewash, mate. I'm going to go with my brains on London City.
Terence?
Yeah, it's City.
Yeah, I do not think Fulham are going to have the cojones to get up over City, mate. Good luck to them if they do.
They dropped a 2-goal lead. No, they dropped a 2-0 lead to bloody Brighton last week.
Yeah,
they screwed me over.
That was a good game to watch.
Yeah, I was going to say it was a good game to watch, but...
I for them to win too.
Next game we've got Bournemouth Leicester. Lockie's gone Bournemouth. Chris has gone to draw. Benny?
Ooh. This is a tough one. I think I'm going to have to go with...
Sorry, mate, you going with who?
Bournemouth.
Going with Bournemouth, Terence?
At the gold stands, you have to go Bournemouth there. I'd love for Leicester to win, but as I said, I tip on my brain.
I'm going to go a draw there. I think it's going to be a tough one down there. And I've tipped the draw, so someone will win. Next game, well, this one's going to be very interesting. So, just to put it into perspective, good mate of ours, mate who's been on the show, David Loudfoot, is currently in England. He will be at the game against Arsenal, and he will not take anything less than 3 points. Unfortunately, Lockie and Chris have both gone Arsenal. Terence is going to go Arsenal.
Draw.
You're going to go draw.
I'm going to go draw.
Holy shit. There is something wrong with you. Ben?
Sorry, laddie, mate. Got to go the Gunners.
Yeah, look, yeah, wow.
Sorry, buddy.
I don't think the Toon are going to have anything to cheer about on the scoreline of things. They will definitely.
They'll definitely cheer.
They'll definitely outsing them, and they'll definitely give them more shit than what the Arsenal fans will give back to them. But
on your laddie, mate. Enjoy that, loonies.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Enjoy the game, mate. Friggin' wish we were there. I think your brother's going to be over there with you at that point of time as well. So friggin' family reunion over there in the Toon, mate. So friggin' get on it hard and don't do anything I wouldn't do. Make sure you come back.
I just want to throw in there. The reason I've gone a draw is because the amount of backroom bickering and fighting there is at Arsenal at the moment. A new manager coming in. There's a few big names that aren't very happy with how he's tried to take charge. Things like no phones at training and everything like that. Obviously, what happened with Mesut Ozil is being amplified at the moment. I don't think there is anything in the change room that is positive at this moment, and I think that was reflected early in the season, and it's still hasn't gone yet.
As far as I'm concerned, good on him for freaking getting rid of the phones at training. What do you need a fucking phone for? You're getting paid millions of dollars to freaking play.
I agree.
I 100% agree, mate. Obviously, Wenger's been very relaxed with them, and they're not used to this sort of change, and they're not adapting to it.
Mate, friggin' Wenger was the friggin' it was like Madeline. Everyone in the friggin' all the boys in their rows riding their push bikes down the friggin' main street of London. Friggin' two little lines, mate. Friggin' relaxed ain't the word. Fuck that. You get paid millions of dollars. Leave the friggin' phone at home, mate. Your wife needs you. Call the friggin' club. They know where to find you. Huddersfield Crystal Palace. We've got Lockie and Chris have both gone the draw in this one.
Go the Towners.
Jesus.
Ben?
I was going to go the draw.
That's fine, mate. Just because they did doesn't mean you can't.
No, but you told me who the teams were, and I'm just this is going to be a draw, and then you go, Lockie and Chris have gone the draw, and I'm like, oh Jesus.
You gonna lock that in, Eddie? Or...
Yeah, lock it in, Eddie.
No worries. So the three boys have gone the draw. Terence?
I'm going Huddersfield, mate.
I'm going to join you with that one, mate. Going Huddersfield myself. I think Moy's boys due for a win, and hopefully they can beat the friggin' Palace because I hate the Palace. Chelsea Cardiff. Boys have gone Chelsea. Ben?
Do you even have to ask?
Yeah, Ben's going the draw.
Zola.
Yeah, Ben's going.
As much as I hate Zola, Chelsea, man.
Chelsea, Terence.
Yeah, Chelsea.
Yeah, I'd say by about 3, I reckon.
Yeah.
Poor old Cardiff. I don't think you're going to have much to do other than chase ball in that one. The big one of the friggin' round, I reckon. I reckon this is going to be friggin' pretty much game of the round. Watford versus United.
Watford United, yeah.
I've got my pick. Don't say it yet. Ask me first before you tell me theirs.
Okay, what's your pick?
I'm going Watford.
Oh!
Okay, so Lockie's gone United. Chris has gone a draw.
I'm going Watford.
Going Watford.
I really think they can do it, mate.
I'm going United. I think it's about time they freaking put their shit together. And Mourinho needs a win just so that he's not in any more trouble. He can go back and get a loss next week. Just needs a win to calm things down in the CEO and the coach and the friggin' head honchos. So I think United are going to get this one. Terence?
Yeah, well, Watford's wins have been against, I think it was Palace, Burnley, and Brighton. I think their fairy tale run to the season's over on this one.
Oh, geez, you made it so tragic. They're probably sitting there with tissues now. You've upset them. So next one, obviously, Wolves versus Burnley. It's going to be an interesting one. We'll get your tip first, Ben. What's yours, mate? Don't want to upset him.
As much as it pains me to say this, mate, I'm going to go Wolves.
You'll be happy to know the other boys have gone Wolves as well.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going to go the Wolves as well. I don't think Burnley have got a chance in hell. Terence?
Yeah, I'm joining the lads.
Good stuff. Lads Entertainment Network going strong there. Wolves across the board.
You're going to hate my next tip, though.
Yeah, you are.
Better know both.
Terence. Everton, West Ham.
Go the Toffees.
Bye, Terence. Ben?
Do it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, mate. I'm going to have to do it.
Yes.
Sorry, buddy.
Well,
the odds are not in West Ham's favour. Doesn't matter who it is.
Lockie's gone a draw.
I was thinking that. But no, I don't see it happening.
Chris has gone Everton. Again, you're on notice. You tip Everton.
Yeah, he's 5 on the trot now.
You tip Everton next week, and there's going to be massive trouble.
I'll have issues with him if he tips Everton next week.
Well, let's put it this way. I think they're playing Arsenal. So, yeah. If he tips them next week, he's going to be trouble. I know he's got it out for me. Oh, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I don't want to tip Everton.
You have to.
You're going to have to, aren't you, mate?
Yeah.
I'm losing all because of Everton. Because every time I don't tip them and they win.
They've only won one.
Yeah, well, that's the one draws pretty much. I'm going to go West. No, I'm going to go draw.
Oh, jeez. You can't do it, can you?
I'm going to draw. Fucking hell, that'll be one I've lost, guaranteed. Already lost that one. Southampton Brighton, final game of the round. Betty.
I'm going to go the Saints, mate.
Going marching in. What have we got here? Lockie's gone Southampton, and Chris has gone Brighton. What's yours, Terence? Because I'm still thinking about it.
This is going to pain me as much as tipping the old mates from down the lane, but I'm going to have to go with Southampton, I reckon, mate.
Southampton.
Yeah, mate.
Well, there we go. I'm hoping Ryan can pull something out of his ass and friggin' save him. I think I'm going to go Brighton. I'm going to go 1-0. I'm going to call it right here, 1-0. So pretty much sums up obviously the week tips. Obviously you've got the ladder there. Obviously all on 12 points. Liverpool, Chelsea, Watford still up the top. City's on 10. Tottenham 9. Bournemouth 7. Everton 6 on 6 points. Leicester on 6 points. Right down to Arsenal, sitting in 9th. How good's that? 9th.
Slow starters, mate. Slow starters. Wait for January. We'll kick up.
You're beating United by 1 point. If that makes you feel better.
No, we're not.
No, they're not. They're beating United on gold.
Yeah.
Oh, you are too. Sorry. I was looking down one further. It's Wolves. It's fantastic. I should take a photo of that. That should be.
What, Manchester United in minus goal difference?
It's fantastic. That as well. It's fantastic. Just the fact that they're right down the bottom is great. You look at that level. That's great. Obviously, Wolves sitting in 11th, Southampton 12th, Fulham 13th, Brighton 14th, Crystal Palace 15th, Cardiff 16th, Huddersfield 17th, Newey 18, Burnley 19, and West Ham. Fuck me dead.
They're in trouble.
No, they have been fucked dead.
They that really upsets me. Just for the fact that their talent on paper is incredible, and they're sitting there. So look, yeah, we'll wrap it up obviously for the episode there, guys. Thank you very much for joining us, T.
No worries, mate. It's good to be on for once.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I thought I would have got you on a victory special show or something like that, but no, it's good to have you there. Obviously, while you're out at Ben's. So again, mate, Ben, thank you very much for being here.
Not a problem, mate. Always a pleasure.
Again, guys, before I do go, I will just obviously state to go check these guys out. Obviously, both their channels, Corner Flag Games, Wireless Vlogs, Terence? Vlogs. Wireless Vlogs.
Yes, with a V, mate, with a V.
Wireless Vlogs for Terence there, mate. Obviously, he produces some very, very good content. And we are also part of the Len Network weekly podcast, usually done of a weekend. Be sure to go check that out as well. And yeah, other than that, guys, freaking be sure to like my content if you enjoyed it, dislike it if you don't. It's either or, it doesn't faze me. I'm only doing it for a bit of shits and gigs. And feel free to smack the subscribe button as well. Muchly appreciated.
Oh.
What was that, Ben?
Oh, mate, you're learning out of my book. Everybody's smacking that subscribe button nowadays.
Nah, Ben, yours is smack the bell. Yours is smack the bell, mate.
Smack the bell. I don't have a bell. I'm sure it's there somewhere.
Speaking of learning, who all got these ideas for podcasts these days? Pretty good, eh?
I don't do a podcast, mate.
I was going to say Ben does it. Ben runs a podcast. He doesn't do one. I don't know, mate. Freaking, I haven't heard one of your podcasts in ages. Have you done that?
One of mine?
Yeah.
Oh, you mustn't have checked my channel over the weekend.
I heard you done a wireless. Roughly, was it a wireless family vlog? Is that right?
Yeah, the Wireless Family podcast. It's centered around my fans being a family and me giving back to my fans and inviting them onto the podcast rather than me talking to them. I try and get my fans onto the podcast so they can be part of the channel.
No, mate, absolutely. And obviously, again, I've been trying to hit him up for ages now to get some of his merchandise as well. We'll throw that in there as well, mate, because I do like the shirts you've got going there. I do want one of the jumpers.
Hashtag giveaway.
Hashtag giveaway, absolutely. We've been waiting for it for ages.
Send me your address, mate. It'll be sorted.
I'll get it when I'm down. But no, yeah, in all honesty, guys, yeah, when you go to his channel and that, go check out some of his merchandise he does have there. It is pretty schmick shit. So, get on it. So, yeah, thanks again, guys. And till next week, we hate Coast Scum. Catch you guys.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light